everyone, this is Stranger Hans here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be doing a continuation to my Spirit Halloween predictions video, this time showing off even more of my ideas on what this year could look like at Spirit Halloween. Good thing about this episode is that there will be little to no licensed characters to speak of. Instead, I'll be focusing on original characters, with one being from Spirit's past, while the rest are completely new characters. I will say that a few of them are based off of leaks that we got earlier in the year, so those might just have a part in this video as well. Now, let's get through all of this scanning and start with our first prop prediction, that being a remake of the 5-foot electrified corpse animatronic that Spirit Halloween sold from 2016 to 2017. This is a remake I could very well see happening due to it being a pretty well-known classic Spirit prop, or at least in my opinion. Something that I always liked about this guy is his gruesome appearance, with wires poking out of him and everything. I think that he'd make a great addition to the theme that we're getting this year, which is the subway station. I could see having the live wire props included somewhere, just like Spirit Station Z back in 2015. What better than to have this guy be included in the theme with those live wires on display? I mean, it would be awesome. I think he'd be a great remake, and also a good seller as well, since he would be a relatively cheap prop. Speaking of which, his price would be somewhere around $180. I think that's pretty fair. But overall, this would be a great prop that could make for an awesome addition to this year's lineup, and make for an even better display piece, not only in stores, but even in people's own Halloween displays. For the next prop in this video, we have Dimeless Joe. I know we have seen quite a few clown props over these past few years, and I understand that a lot of people are getting kind of annoyed by how many we get. But if Spirit were to make one this year, besides Silent and Deadly's remake, that kind of counts but not really since, it's a remake of an old prop, then I hope it'll be a hobo clown. That would be something we've never really seen before, especially at Spirit, and thus I feel like it would make for a great addition to the lineup. This guy's whole thing is that he turns his head side to side, moves his eyes from left to right as he looks at people in front of him. He'll also have an arm that points backwards, showing that he's trying to hitchhike, which I think fits the character. I tried my best to give him a realistic or semi-realistic face in this drawing, and although it's not the most detailed, I still hope it gets across the idea on what I want him to look like. He would be a human clown with a face sort of similar to Hegel's from 2023. Anyways, for height, he would be around 5.9 feet tall, and a fair price for him could be maybe like $210 just due to him using quite a few motors. However, I think this would be a neat addition to this year's roster, and maybe even make for a memorable prop for years to come. And now we move on to the 6-foot-tall Grim Owl animatronic. This is a prop made by Techie Design, pretty much being a reskin of the Desmodus animatronic that Spirit sold back in 2023. This is an interesting prop because it is an official leaked item, and as Spirit Wiki states, well, actually there's not much to see here, but this guy would be really cool. Just like Desmodus, he'll pop up to a height of around 7.3 feet, making owl sounds and playing other Halloween ambience. I tried my best to make him not just look like an ordinary owl, so I gave him a more demented look with the curved horns. I can imagine him having red glowing eyes just to make him even creepier. I also got stuck on designing his perch, but I settled on a tombstone covered in skulls, almost like he made a nest out of the remains of bodies that he found in a graveyard. But this would be a really cool prop to see, and I can even imagine him being the same price as Desmodus, which is $230. I think this would be a wonderful opportunity to revise this mech that was used for Desmodus, as he was a pretty faulty prop the year he came out. I think this could be Spirit's chance to still use this startling jump scare, while also experimenting more with the characters that could work best with it. Our next prediction is the 4.7 feet tall Pins and Needles prop. This is an interesting one since it's a reskin of Dagger Mike and Dark Princess from last year, this time being a possessed ragdoll holding giant sewing needles. I have to say that I really like the jump scare used by props like Dagger Mike and Dark Princess, since it's both effective and also on the cheaper side. I think that this could be another great, slightly more budget-friendly jump scare prop. I also think that the idea of a giant ragdoll come to life would be pretty terrifying, especially if it's threatening you with huge needles. This prop is also, in a way, kind of a callback to a tabletop Spirit sold in 2013, which was the evil ragdoll made by YJ. This time though, it's closer to being a life-size, making it even more unnerving. I think that would be a cool prop to see, and I feel like it could also work in quite a few themes, such as a toy factory, a haunted mansion, or maybe even a cemetery. There's a good amount of possibilities for it, honestly. When it comes to price, it would be around the same price as Dark Princess as of this year, which is $190. I think this would be a very creepy prop if done correctly, so I hope we could maybe see something like this in the future. Next up on the list is Ripping Rot, a zombie animatronic for this year. This dude is interesting since he's pretty much a corpse that is held together by stitches and staples, with him having this huge gash in his stomach, which is pretty much just a seam that's bursted open, showing some guts. But what's cool about this guy is he has two animations. He starts by turning his right arm off, swinging it to the side. Afterwards, his neck tears as well, showing exposed, rotting flesh. This neck animation, as you can tell, is pretty much the same one used on the Widow animatronic that was sold in 2022 and 2023. So both animations will be pretty fast and startling, catching guests off guard. He'll also probably laugh in a very eerie manner as he's doing this, just because. Yeah, why not? As for price, this guy would be around $220, and for height, I'd say he'd be around 6 feet. I think we are due for some more zombie props, and I think it would be awesome to get one that's a bit different, rather than just being a simple zombie that groans and doesn't do much else. Next, we have another spin on a classic Halloween character, that being the 5.2 foot tall urban vampire. This prop is very similar to the surprise scarecrow made by Techie from 2018 to 2020. However, instead it's a vampire who conceals its face beneath its hood. Just like the surprise scarecrow, it uses a startling jump scare where it snaps its head up very quickly, revealing its face. I doubt they'd ever do this, but a spitting feature would be really cool after the pop-up, just to really surprise people when they activate it. This prop would probably be around $140, I'd say, which I think is a good deal. This isn't meant to be a super flashy or crazy prop, so I think it could work best as more of a background piece in some displays. Regardless though, it would definitely have its place in a good amount of themes. I think it would also go well with the Spirits theme this year, since what better to have a prop like this than in a subway theme. As it is, you meet plenty of interesting people over there. And finally, we have the 5.5 foot tall twisting granny animatronic. Just like the Grim Owl, this is also a prop that is an official part of Spirit's lineup this year. According to the Spirit Wiki, it will be made by Techie Design, and that is even further proven since included on its page is concept art that Techie made for a while back. It seems like Spirit Halloween is finally picking up the idea now, using it for their lineup this year. All I can say is, I'm really glad. I think the concept is so different and, well, disturbing. The whole animation that they gave her, with her jaggedly snapping her neck and torso to face backwards, is so creepy and could definitely scare some people on Halloween night. One thing is I really hope they keep her mouth animation. Besides that, I also hope they give her some really creepy voice lines, since I think that could really sell the prop for me and a lot of other people. Now, for her price, I'd see her being $200. I'd say that's pretty close to what it could end up being, but I'm not too sure. Anyhow, this would be such a cool prop to see in person, and I hope that Spirit takes her concept and does it justice. Well, that was my second part to the Spirit Halloween 2025 Animatronic Predictions. I tried my best to explain how I'd envision some of these prop ideas, and although, just like the ones in the last parts, some of them might not happen, I think it's still a lot of fun to speculate about this stuff as the Halloween season approaches. With all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see you all next time. Thank you for watching.